If you've heard about story brand messaging, you know the importance about creating a clear brand message so your customers will listen. However, after being a certified story brand coach and guide for over 5 years, I have found that there are still some issues that people run into, some roadblocks that really keep them from leveraging this amazing tool so they've got a clear brand message that helps them stand out online. So if you are ready to create a clear brand message using the story brand framework and avoid all the common pitfalls I see most small business owners make, we are going to go today and show you the most common issues people make whenever they're creating their brand script so you can avoid it, so you can create the clear message to help you stand out online and your business grow. Welcome to Marketing Domination. So the first mistake I see when people are going to create a story brand script is they don't even understand what it actually is. They think that whenever they are doing this, that they are creating a story, and that's not what it is. What a story brand script is a 7 key point framework that you filter all your marketing messaging through. So how I like to explain it to clients is whenever you are going to do graphic design for your business, right? You create typically a brand sheet. That's going to be like your logos, colors, your fonts, maybe like some inspirational images and stuff. You don't then take that and post that online as your flyer. But what you do is whenever you are going to hire a graphic designer or somebody on your team is to design something, they are going to look at that and make sure that visually it looks like and matches those brand guidelines. A brand script is that exact same thing, but for the words and the messaging that you use. So even though it's called a story brand script, it is not a literal script you are reading, or is it a story? But what it is those 7 key points that follows the arc of a story. So sometimes people get frustrated because they're like, well, you wrote this brand script, but I don't see the story here. No, it follows the arc of story because that's what draws people in as you're using these talking points in your marketing messaging. And then whenever you go to create different aspects of your marketing, you filter all of your message through to make sure it sounds like the talking points that you created on your brand script. The next is understanding what the 7 key points are, or they're leaving some of them out because they're like, that's not really that important. So here's an overview of the story brand framework. The first is your character. One of the mistakes I see with this is not understanding what it means by that. Again, we're not writing a literal story, we're creating talking points. And so for this talking point on the character section, it is answering the question, what does your customer want? How would they finish this statement? I want blank when it comes to talking about your products and services. We're not creating necessarily demographics or psychographics about what your customers and the type of clients that you want to work with are. What we're doing is we're answering the question, what do they want? So that's the first part, is the character. The second one is a problem, right? Your customers have a problem and it's dealt with at 3 different levels. External, which is the main thing they're dealing with. The internal, which is how does that problem make them feel? And the philosophical, which is why it's just plain wrong. I see a lot of businesses also when they're creating their brand script, they don't get in those deeper levels. And how I like to explain it is the external problem, that's the main obvious thing, right? That could be like, I'm paying too much in taxes, right? If you're talking with an accountant. The internal problem and the philosophical, as you get deeper into the problem, that's where you go from external problem is somebody's like, okay, maybe they could help me. Internal is like, ooh, they sound like they're really good and they understand me. The philosophical, when you get down to that, that's when they're like, this is my guy, this is my girl, I want to work with them. And so wherever we're creating this, remember, we are trying to think about the words that our customers are using to describe their problem at those different levels. How does it feel? Man, I'm frustrated that I'm spending too much in taxes. I'm disheartened that, I'm working so hard, but at the end of the day, I don't seem to have anything left to show for it because it's all going to taxes, right? And then we get to that philosophical problem. It's like, man, we believe that you should be able to keep more of your hard-earned money than pay it out to the government, right? Now that's my account and that's what I want right there. And that's what we're creating with these brand messaging talking points. So the third thing is the guide. This is the one point of the brand script where you talk about yourself. And you want to position yourself as the guide, not the hero. So we are the guide here, and how we position ourselves as a guide for our customers is with empathy and authority. We want to show them that we understand what it's like for them to deal with this problem. And then we also want to display authority that we can solve this problem for people just like them. Testimonials, facts, stats. We want to have those things already written out. Whenever we go to create our brand messaging, we can have that stuff that we can reference. The next one is the plan. We want to show our customers the plan to do business with us to get the problem solved. This is typically a 3-step plan, like, schedule your call, we develop a custom plan, and then, you experience success. We want it to be very, very simple and direct because you want people to go, oh, wow, that sounds easy. And we want to have that plan written out in our marketing. The next thing is your call to action. This is clear and direct. So many people make this mistake whenever they're creating their brand script is they try to be vague or cute and clever. Clarity always wins with this thing. And so we want to have 2 calls to action. The main thing we want people to do, whether that's, schedule a call, book their assessment, start their trial. Then we have something that's called a transitional call to action, which is typically like a lead generator. Download our free guide, take our free course, take this quiz, and something for the customers that aren't ready to buy, but we still want to always call people to action. So it's very clear the next step that we want them to take. The next part of our brand script is understanding the failure section. This right here is we want to remind the customers of the pain and the problems that they're currently dealing with and what they're going to continue to deal with if they don't buy our products and services. With this, we are not Debbie Downers here, right? We're not trying to be fear mongers. What we're doing with this part of the brand script is we are creating talking points to remind people of the current immediate thing that they can feel right now or that they may continue to deal with. We don't want to future cast this out too far where it's like, oh man, if you don't, hire us as your accounting team, you're going to lose your business and your wife's going to leave you, your children are going to hate you, right? It's going to make so over the top and out there that nobody's going to really believe that. And it's just going to sound like you're fear mongering because you kind of are. But when it comes to the last part of the brand script is the success, we do want to show the happily ever after. We want to talk about the immediate results that they're going to get with working with us, those midterm ones that are going to happen in the next couple of months, and then how much better their overall life is going to be once they finally have gotten this problem solved. So that's a one thing right there is understanding what those are, and we're creating those talking points and those sound bites in this brand messaging script. The next mistake I see when people start to craft their brand script is not being clear and consistent. The only way you can really mess this up is those 2 things. If it's not clear and it's not consistent. So what I mean by that is the whole point of your brand script is to clarify your message. So if you are using these talking points and these sound bites in your marketing and somebody says, I don't get it, they're still confused, you missed the mark. It should be clear. Oftentimes, whenever we're presenting brand scripts to clients that we write for them at our agency, they're like, well, this sounds too clear and simple. Right. It means we did it right. We don't want people to have to guess to figure out what it is that we do and how we help them. Clarity always wins, and a really good brand script should be really clear and direct. You shouldn't be cute and clever here. You're not trying to win an award for writing a book. We're trying to get customers, and the business that communicates to their customers the clearest is the one that wins. The next part of that is being consistent. If your brand script isn't cohesive, right? We're not writing a literal story, but if the points don't connect, that's another mistake that I see. So often you may state a problem that your customer deals with, but then you're not connecting that same problem through other parts of your brand script. If your problem is, for example, that let's say you're a fitness trainer, because I see this a lot. The problem is, oh man, they're just not eating well and they're struggling with their nutrition. But then your products and services aren't selling nutrition services and selling workout plans. Well, it doesn't matter that it's a problem that they're dealing with. If you don't solve that and we're not telling the rest of that story and creating those talking points that are cohesive and consistent, that's when you're going to miss the mark, because you're going to be creating a confusing story. And if you know anything about StoryBrand, if you confuse, you lose. As a small business owner, you should be creating content. But I know for me, the hardest part about creating videos isn't the filming. It's figuring out what to say for the first 3 seconds. If you don't hook your audience right away, they're just going to scroll right past you. That's why I put together the 100 viral video hooks. These are proven, ready to use openers that you can plug straight into your videos to grab attention, stop the scroll, and get more people to watch and engage. With these hooks, you'll never stare blank at a screen wondering how to start your videos again. Download it free today at seangarner.co/video hooks. Now back to the show. Another common mistake I see whenever crafting your brand script is you are making the story all about yourself. It is not about your story. Business owners often get frustrated because they're like, oh man, I hear your agency does story brand messaging and storytelling. We really want to share our story and tell our story. I'm going to tell you this. Nobody cares about your story. Maybe your mom does, but most likely she's just being kind to you. Think about why you're listening to this video right now. It's not because you care about my story, but you have a problem that you are trying to get solved. The story is all about your customer. You are there to position yourself as the guide. Your customer is the hero. You are there to demonstrate empathy and authority and help them to win the day and get their problem solved. It is not telling your story. Customers do not care. Telling your story will not make you more money. If you want to stand out online, you need to position yourself as the guide and not the hero. So don't make the story about you. Create the talking points about your customer. Another common mistake I see whenever people are creating their brand script is they feel like they only get one shot at this and it has to be perfect before they start using it and launching it. That is not the case at all. I very much believe, especially when it comes to your messaging, done is better than perfect. And whenever you have this and you're first starting to use this concept and create these talking points, you are just guessing. Let's be honest. You are guessing on what's going to connect and resonate with the customers. And so you should always be testing and refining this. I see oftentimes people will create their brand script like, no, I've got my brand script. I'm good. Well, have you tested it? Have you started refining it? I will tell you, just us internally at our agency, Sean Garner Consulting, we review our brand script on a quarterly basis just to make sure that the words that we are using are landing. And for us, what means it's landing is, are we connecting with, bringing in, and retaining the right type of clients that we want to work with? I'll tell you a very simple, and this is how detailed you need to be with this. Our brand script and the thing that we used to speak on with our talking points and everything is helping small business owners build a business and be the industry leader. That's what we used to say. But we switched it over to help you grow your business and dominate your industry. Reason being is those two words key words that we changed, going from build to grow and lead to dominate, helped us to attract the types of customers that we wanted to work with. So whenever we were saying words like we help you build a business, we are getting a lot of startups and people that had ideas, but they didn't really have an actual business. When we started using words like grow your business, we had people that already had an established business that they were looking to grow. So that's where the words that you use matter. And so once you have your brand script, you constantly want to be testing and refining it. So you're making sure that you're using the right words that are landing with and attracting the type of customers you want to deal with. Another mistake I see when it comes to the brand script is small business owners aren't using it everywhere. They created the thing. Maybe like for us, a lot of times we see this, we'll create it for all of our clients that we work with. We'll put all the copy and messaging. We'll use it on their websites and their emails. And then that's it. The secret to the brand script and the success that you have with it only comes down to your level of execution on it. The brand script, it's not a magic potion for your business, right? What it is a tool. And a tool only works based upon your level of execution on that tool. So oftentimes whenever we're working with clients and we create this tool and we use that to filter all their brand messaging through for, websites, lead generators, email copy and stuff like that. But if the business owner, if you're not using it in your sales, in your internal marketing and communication, in social media copy and presentations, you're going to have, again, an unclear and disconnected message. And so you're going to be frustrated. Like I tried that brand script thing. It really didn't work out. But it only works based upon your level of execution on it. So if you're not using the brand script everywhere, it's going to have that unclear message. And that's the whole point of this, is to create a clear, cohesive message. So making sure that you are using your brand script everywhere. And probably the last mistake that I've started to see over the recent years is people they understand the concept of brand messaging and building a story brand and the brand script, and they are just plugging it right into an AI tool like ChatGPT or even StoryBrand AI, and they are just taking that as the done for you perfect solution. I will tell you this, love AI tools. We use ChatGPT, StoryBrand AI, even in all of our marketing that we do. But that is just the starting point. AI, what I've realized is, because we use it a lot in our agency, it's kind of like a yes man. It just gives you oftentimes what it thinks that you want to hear, and it doesn't have as much context as it needs in order to create something that's really great. So whenever you are using tools, StoryBrand has an amazing brand script tool. They got storybrand.ai. Down at the bottom, we'll make sure that there's an affiliate link down there. You can use that. And if you do use our link, I'm more than happy to do a brand script review for you. Once you use our affiliate link down below, doesn't cost you any more, but it does help us if you decide to use it. Send us over your brand script and I'll send you a quick Loom video. And you can just email it over to team@seangarner.co. But getting back to this, if you are taking things directly from AI and assuming it's good, that's where you are going to get frustrated, because it's not going to be clear. It's not going to sound like you. Use that as a starting point to kind of help you start thinking through this and using it as a brainstorming tool to help you craft this brand message, especially if it's a new concept and everything for you. Because if you just pull it directly out of there, it's not really going to sound unique. It's not going to sound like you, because it's not. It's just giving you the outputs based upon the inputs that you give it, and it's just kind of guessing. So use it as a good starting point to help you clarify your brand. So hopefully this helps you guys better understand what the StoryBrand brand script is and helps you to avoid or correct some of these brand messaging mistakes that you guys have made so you can truly create a clear message. Because guys, remember, clarity always wins. People connect and buy with the words that you use. And if you want a clear brand message to be used throughout all your marketing, this is the foundational piece that we do for all of our clients at our agency, Sean Garner Consulting. Very first thing that we are going to do and work with you, whether it be from an SEO project to website design and sales funnel builds out, is we help you clarify your brand message by creating this brand script for you. So as we go to build out your websites, your sales funnel, your search engine optimization campaigns, we make sure that we have a clear brand message that helps you stand out online so your business can grow and you can dominate your industry. And if you're interested in working with us, love the opportunity to talk to you. Just book a call with me on our website. It's SeanGarner.co. SeanGarner.co. Links down here in the bio. Book a call with me and we'll show you exactly how we can help your business stand out online so you can grow and dominate.